you sit there as a man and you're like, you know, I thought I was going through the most. There's other men out there that are going through a lot. Because remember, being a man comes with a lot of responsibility.
Absolutely.
You must be the protector.
Yeah.
You must be the provider. You must still show love. But who's giving you all these things as a man? Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
When last did anyone ask you, how's your heart? How's your heart?
In fact, probably the last call a few hours ago was about a payment.
Kushota this.
Kushota this. Yeah.
No one says, how are you? Men are starting to realize the importance of having conversations amongst themselves and open and frank. This thing of trying to shield yourself because you're a tiger or you're a lion, I'm not gonna cry. Men cry. Men cry, bro. I cry. I cry in front of my daughters because I want to show them that I'm a human being first.
Yeah.
This thing of trying to be macho leads to GBV. You're bottling so much that it's just one trigger and you lose it. If I've wronged you as a friend or as a colleague or as a business partner and I realize my wrongs, I'm the first person to apologize because I believe that life is too short to harbor on things that you could actually have fixed, you know. So I'd never have relationships where I wonder what could have happened. I appreciate for the value that it gave to me at the time, but I also appreciate the lessons. And that's what it is. And a lot of people struggle with that. You know, what do you call it when you've got a grudge? You know, you carry that grudge and you don't understand that the power of releasing someone releases you.
Oh, true.
Because it's on you, eh?
Yeah, it's on you.
When we get into public spaces or at an event, now I'm going to avoid you. Imagine that. I go to a red carpet event, bump into it, say, I don't want that kind of life. I want to be able to come to you and greet you. And whether you greet me back or not,
it's on you there.
I've released
with you.
I've released, and that's the life that I lead.
Outside of your own marriage, do you think the institution of marriage is still relevant?
Absolutely. It's not only relevant but necessary.
Sure.
It's an institution that every country needs. It is the foundation of any society.
I hear you.
Whether you think marriage is boring, whether you think marriage is for old people, whether you think marriage is outdated, that's your opinion and you're entitled to it, by the way. But if you look at the most successful people around the world, most of them are married. It's because it gives you stability. It gives you a sense of belonging, family.
Yes.
Identity.
Yeah.
The success of a country, the success of any country starts with the family.
Sure.
And it starts with the family because if your household is managed in a way that is respectful, in a way that has integrity, in a way that the values are to live together, to share together, you take that family dynamic and you take it and you share it with the street that you live in. Because then all your neighbors know Uti. Tina Lana is our neighbor, Makshoniwe, Sakipa Imali to contribute.
And that's family.
That's family. Yeah. Remember, it starts with your unit. Then you disseminate it to the street. From the street, it goes to the suburb. Because now Niaz with Tina was a Pinville. Siatlangana Makshoniwe, so later I'm a 10 rand.
Yeah.
No, it started with family.
Yeah.
Then the street, then the suburb. From the suburb, it goes to the township. Because if you're Pimville and Deep Kloof and you're like, Tina Esowetu sends us so.
Sure.
Yeah, Alex sends us so. Then outside that, it goes to the province. Then as a province, you say, Tina, as Gautengas, we are proud to say, Uti, we are there for each other.
Sure.
From province, it goes to national. And for me, the family unit is probably the most critical unit. And it's the one that people don't realize how critical it is. It's tough to be married and you're a public figure.
Sure.
Because now your marriage is not just yours.
Okay.
It's the public's marriage. And what that means is that everything you do gets scrutinized by the public. So for example, I would post a video with my kids and my wife is in the background. First of all, my wife is an introvert. Then you get people saying, she's so moody. She doesn't appreciate this. Or I'll give her flowers and she doesn't respond the way people wanted to respond because she is her own person.
Yeah.
Now that creates problems in marriages because now if I don't understand my wife, I'm going to take her up based on what people are saying. Mara nawe man wanga smile. Mara yaza ngumsungumdumide. Wangfa video. Do you understand that public opinion now becomes an issue in the marriage?
In the marriage.
A lot of celebrity marriages have failed as a result of that because I think they're
not separating the two entities.
And sometimes it's not easy.
Yeah.
It's not easy because I can tell you right now, as human beings, and I've experienced this, especially on Twitter, where you will post a good cause that you're doing and you'll get so many people complimenting you. It just takes one.
That one. I know.
Just that one. Mara, you are doing this for your own benefit.
Yeah.
And it
ruins your whole day.
Distorts you.
Yeah.
It distorts you. And then because of that comment, you go back home with that energy. Then your wife goes, no, nothing. Why you not to snacks? Instead of going, yes, and commenting, and I'm like this because of that. Okay, then I know how to treat you. Then I know how to behave around it because I know there's an issue. He chose me. That's one thing I know for sure. He chose me to be an instrument. The work that I do, I've never received an award for the work that I do. And I don't care for those awards. The biggest award for me is seeing people's life change in front of my face. That's the greatest award for me because once you're self-actualization, if you understand Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
Right at the peak there.
It's right at the peak. But people confuse self-actualization with money.
Sure.
And for me, it's not. Self-actualization for me is the ability to use my talents positively to change other people's lives. Then I've self-actualized. If I can have someone get on stage and graduate because I help them to open the door for them, that's self-actualization for me. If I can get someone calling me to say, TT, thank you for what you did for our family, without even expectation, that's self-actualization. So the reason I say I know God chose me is because the things that I touch are things that most people struggle with. And I don't have to struggle to help people. I don't have to struggle to get money from sponsors or brands. I just have that blessing that I carry. And I think also because I do things with a genuine heart. I do things because I also want to see other people do better. I know what it's like to have nothing.